been told they're a little bit long. So, I mean, I'm proud of them. My girlfriend did them, but she's usually the graphic artist person, so I'm actually having her
Okay.
to stream them down to a minute or so. But anyway, we are live. So welcome everybody to the Git Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs and nerds and those with fandoms and everybody else that has a like, a share, a comment, or probably a dislike by now. This is a spot for you. I am basically here with the man to my right who usually has a last name or first name this day, but I'm gonna let him go first. So what you got this week, Joe?
I'm on a message from Polka God, Joe Tonello.
He's going to explain why momentarily. This is actually a great thing, guys, because today we actually have our first guest. I want to introduce this person because I actually follow them on IG at Curly and Nerdy. They are like, she is basically much like us. She has an affinity for everything across the spectrum. I dig her taste, especially in Nubia, Wonder Woman, the Woman on comic books. So I definitely have a shared love of that. But I do want to introduce her. She is Curly and Nerdy, also known as Ty. Ty, how are you?
I am good. I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad that y'all invited me. Give me my first podcast.
Well, you know what? I am so happy about that because we are more than happy to have you as well. But before I do get started, before we actually get into it, I do have to let people know that we do try to be a family-friendly podcast. We try. I've said some words. Joe said some words. We tried. Okay. There's just sometimes there are just some words out there that just got to be said, but we don't try to go too far with it. But again, we do try to keep it family friendly, and sometimes we may show things on here. Of course, trailers. Now that we do show with the sound and everything, because DMC hasn't caught us yet. But if we do show them, they may be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So. Since you are the new person, Ty, I want to start with you. And if you don't mind, I know about your IG page of Curly and Nerdy, but, tell us a little bit about, what your fandoms, what you're into so far, and what's really got your attention right now.
So, like you said, I'm kind of across the board, from comic books to mangas, anime, supernatural, sci-fi, just kind of everything. My biggest attention is probably Naomi right now. You put me onto Batwoman, so I've actually been binge watching for the last 2 days of Batwoman, and my family. Boba Fett, we're a little behind on, but starting to binge that today. But everything pretty much. Star Wars, I'm trying to think of anime, Demon Slayer, Fire Force, I'm waiting for, is it okay to pick up in a dungeon?
Is it okay to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yes. That's one of my favorites. So I'm waiting for the next season for that to come back.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'm glad you mentioned Naomi because I'm going to go very quickly over, like we usually go over shows of the week. And I want to cover Naomi first because because again, you're new to this. So I treat Naomi the same way I treated Batwoman in my previous podcast, and Joe will be the first person to witness this. I have struggled through Batwoman. The first 2 seasons now. I say the first 2 seasons because really quickly, for me, the story wasn't there. It was too much of a focus on Batman's current rogue villains, the whole where does Alice fit thing, and I'm going to be honest, the first 2 seasons of Batwoman were hard to watch. Now, I will say the 3rd season I really do like because, as I was telling Joe, we finally got away from Kay Kane. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy the fact that we're finally away from it, and the fact that they're trying to introduce the Black Joker, that they're trying to introduce Poison Ivy and things of that nature. But just really quick, your opinions on Batwoman so far?
So far, like for the most part, I've seen season 3, and I said I was going to go back to watch season 2. So for the most part, I have liked it. I have liked the progression of just the characters and far they're going in depth and some of the issues that they're all having, and not just one character at one time having an issue and everybody else is so happy and hunky-dory. So that part I have really liked. I like the transition into Poison Ivy and the whole sister family dynamic. I like that it's not just one family dynamic going on. That there's multiple family dynamics, and this is happening to everybody, and not just the one like, oh, woe is me type of situation.
Gotcha.
So I like how they're figuring that out. So far I've been really happy. I got more excited that the girl from Teen Wolf is on there. And I was like, oh, if had I known, I would have already been watching.
You know, someone pointed that out to me, and I was like, I was just watching back Teen Wolf. My siblings watch it. I kind of skipped it until someone said, just try a few episodes. Because I did the same thing with Stargirl. Joe, if it wasn't for Joe, I wouldn't have been watching Stargirl, honestly, because the first couple episodes of Stargirl, I was like, no. And then Joe was like, give the first season a chance, which I did. And I come to find out I like Stargirl. It's just that, I was telling Joe, like, hey, after episode 4, someone finally got the assignment. That's why I was like, cool, I could actually start watching this. It's fun. It got dark, especially in the last season. It got real dark, which I loved. But yeah, I have to give Joe credit for that, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be watching. But speaking of Joe, because I know, like I said, going to Naomi, Naomi is, let me ask you this, because I'm trying. I'm trying. Joe has I'm gonna let him explain his view on Naomi. But let me ask you this, because I want you to go first. If watching Naomi so far, what do you think of it?
So far, it's slow.
Okay.
But I feel like there's hopes. I did read all the comic books. I think there's like 5. Mm-hmm. So I went and read all of those. So it is slow, but I do feel like the next episode is kind of going to bring us more into a progression.
Okay, so I can let Joe get this out, because Joe has a unique perspective on Naomi that I have to let him explain.
I'm waiting for somebody other than Brian Michael Bendis to write this woman so she'll have a personality.
Oh. You don't feel like the persistence is...
No, I think she's exactly like Riri Williams, but instead of armor, she has superpowers.
Okay.
And the moment Bendis stopped writing Riri, she became her own person. She got her own stuff together, and she became like a fully realized character. Mm-hmm. I am all for that. We're getting people like just of everything, but Bendis is not the right person, because it's just more of the same rehash over and over and over again. Mm. And like, he's inserting her into all the books he's writing, and then they end up getting canceled with the exception of Action Comics.
So yeah, which I agree with Joe, because Joe actually has a very good track record on this, because the artist behind Naomi, every time he has brought that character on, the series that the comics is in always ends early. And it's not because of Naomi's fault. Like, I agree with Joe on that one. It depends on who writes it, because I said the same thing, and I'll even go, I've said this to Zack Snyder, and yes, to Ari the King. I will concede to this point that Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad and in Zack Snyder's Justice League cut really wasn't given justice just because of the writing. I still think that Jared Leto, who's going to be appearing in Morbius sometime this year, I still think that's going to be a great movie. Do I think that his Joker deserved another shot? Yes, but maybe not under Snyder, because Snyder, to me, doesn't know how to keep it one story inside of a movie. That's why Justice League flopped. But that being said, I do like Naomi. I like Naomi's character. I love the comic book series of Naomi. But just like you, Ty, I was very... It's slow. Let's be honest. When it comes to origin stories, you kind of have to be careful. You can't go too fast. You can't go too slow. But eventually the pace has to pick up. And I do get that they're trying to do kind of a self-discovery with her. It's like, I'm finding out I'm finding out I'm not from this world. I'm finding out that I do have powers. I'm finding out that my teacher / mentor is basically a Hawkman. There's other things that are coming out, which again, I do dig, but just like you, Ty, I was like, this is, we're about to be 5 episodes in, and I'm just like, somebody needs to pick it up to where it makes sense. But I have a rule, though. I do stick with it. I stuck with Gotham for an entire first season before I gave up on it, because I still say to this day, how do you have a series about Gotham villains and no Batman to be found? But that's neither here nor there. I'm leaving that argument to die where it is, because that's a whole full-on hour discussion that I know we don't have. But again, I was like, but let me ask you this. I'm sorry, Joe, you gonna say something?
I think the thing for me with the show and her is I'm waiting for something that is actually just Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
Like her power base is just very, very generic of flight, strength, energy blasts, invulnerability. Like I want something that's just her because, and this goes back to the Riri thing. Prior to her creation, they were pushing War Machine's niece.
Yeah.
Which pardon me, I forget the name at the moment, but then they completely abandoned her to put Riri in. She's just that thing, but the moment that she starts getting her own stuff is when she becomes fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for Naomi to get something that sets her apart and is her own thing to make her unique. But right now, like she's just generic to me, and because of the writing and what this is a Bendis thing, and she's just generic superhero X because I am a superhero in a small town where weird things happen.
Yeah,
So
basically,
Superman's Superman origin story.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for her, both in the comics and the show, to get that one thing that makes her unique to herself.
Fair enough. But moving right along, though, I do have to also cover, I mean, like I said, two other shows I did want to cover. Ty, because like I said, always start with the first person. Superman and Lois, what is your opinion on it so far? Because I know the last episode, I have to apologize for being wrong about a certain villain. I have to apologize for. But what are your opinions on it so far?
So I have to be honest. I could not get into them. Supergirl, Superman, I just could not.
Supergirl, I can understand. But
no, yeah, I understand Supergirl.
Maybe because Superman with his mix that I just never fell over when he got kind of more so his own series and it just followed necessarily him.
Mm-hmm.
I just, yeah.
You're fine. Good. Yeah, because Supergirl, we tried, and it was like, I felt like it's like, yes, you want to push, and that's the thing that kind of scares me with Supergirl. Also, with the upcoming Batgirl movie, it's like I'm scared to see where they go, because if they don't go something different, it's not going to end well. I mean, just like the Batman movie that's going to be coming out March 4th. I'm a Batman fan to death, but even I would say, do we really need all these Batman movies every year? But don't get me wrong, I still want to give Robert Pattinson a shot. I still want to see where they go with the story. The fact of them using a Riddler that has been rarely used, especially with that costume design.
So we'll get into that later, along with the news piece that came out about the Batman movie with the director.
Okay. I'm gonna shut up then. Since you got that. I'm gonna shut up. Well, anyway, Superman and Lois, like I said before, I loved it. I have to apologize. I was wrong about it being Doomsday. I did not expect it to be Bizarro Superman. The whole equipment threw me off, and I was like, when I first saw it, and I was like, and it showed his face, I was like, crap, it's Bizarro. Because the whole tunneling thing at the bottom of the mines, I'm like, okay, this has Doomsday written all over it, since they're going with the reign of the Superman, and I thought Death of Superman storylines were being tied into it. But the fact that we see a Bizarro Superman now kind of changes things. I love it. But then again, Superman and Lois to me is still one of the better shows in the CW, and I got no issues. Joe, what did you think of it?
Yeah, that threw me off, and that was actually a good swerve, because that containment suit was identical to Doomsday's containment suit.
Right.
I did not see the Bizarro thing coming, so
I have to give
Tyler, however you pronounce that nice gentleman's last name.
Pock. I'm not gonna try. Let's just say it starts with an H. Let's say what starts with an H, because I'm not gonna try it.
Yeah. He'll be doing double duty.
Yeah, but I thought that was great. And again, I understand, Ty, Superman is not your thing. I would say, some things like that. Like I said before, I was with you for a second. I'm like, Superman and Lois, because in my mind, it kind of took me back to the ABC versions of the Adventures of Lois and Clark, and I'm like, that was corny by even by today's standards, that was corny. But I do love CW's take on it, even though CW is all about teenage drama and angst and all this stuff, and we kind of have to see past it. But in my opinion, like, Bizarro being revealed kind of gives me hope for Superman and Lois. It's like, don't get me wrong, the last season, completely epic. and was amazing. But like most CW shows, we kind of get a little worrisome because, those first, let's say 4 seasons are great. And then,
from there.
Don't believe me. Look,
it was only 2.
We can at least give it 3.
I'm not giving them 3.
I would say
the Thinker season pass, but I'm not giving Savitar Emo Berry a pass.
Well, 3 isn't. 3 was kind of like the heralding of the end. And the sad
let me put it this way: The Flash is a holy hand grenade of Antioch. 1, 2, 4.
Dang. Not the holy hand grenade. Just dang. Well, I'm just saying, don't feel bad. They're actually starting to renew for season 9. Well, they're in talks to renew season 9, which again is unheard of for a CW show.
I think at some point you should end before it continues to just be a disaster. End it before it's like canceled. I feel like that's a better way to go about it.
Yes. I just, what? Don't get me wrong. Grant Gustin has done awesome as the Flash. And I love the fact that, they've included so many iconic characters from it. And I'm not mad, but you're right. Sometimes all good things must come to an end. And technically the Flash, I'm sorry, what are you going to say?
I'm waiting for the Flash to become Happy Days to College Years with Tim McGinley.
Oh my goodness.
You know what? They've already started the family. We've already seen Impulse and Excess.
Oh, Lord.
We've already we've seen Kid Flash, Impulse, and Excess. So we're not too far off from that.
I think all we need now is Barry's alternate reality 3 kids. Well, wait. Nora Allen is one of those 3 kids.
Exactly. We've completed the circle.
Oh, we need the Dons. That's what we need. We need the Dons.
I think it just gets too confusing. Like, it's cool to see all the different characters, but after a while, it just gets way too confusing to keep up.
It's too convoluted.
It's all who.
You're exactly
we
right.
also get to know which child is now the bad child of the 2 in this episode. Which one's the bad son?
But that's the thing. It's like, where does it come to a certain point to where it's like Ty said, it's that whole point of we kind of need to have an ending somewhere. Give it a better ending that they gave Arrow. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
Arrow deserved a way, way, way better ending than what we were given. But again, that's CW. They will run until they can't run with it anymore. Don't believe me? Ask me why the Vampire Diaries is still on.
Yeah, back over to Superman. Like I was saying, now we get to know which son's the bad son.
Oh well, that's also true. That's starting to turn around as well. Ty, you made that face when I said Vampire Diaries. Are you a fan?
No, I'm not a fan of vampires. I was a fan of the originals, and they ruined it on the last season and turned it into whatever the legacies. And I was like, no. Just stop. This is too much.
Don't feel bad. My girlfriend is a fan of Twilight, and I make fun of her all the time when I said vampires. My vampires are the Lost Boys. That's my vampires.
You're not with the whole sparkly, pretty.
No. Remember,
stand in sunlight.
Just like the Lost Boys, we don't have sparkly vampires. We have overly muscled men playing saxophone.
I'm good with that. I'll even take vampires playing Wham. At least to me, that's way better than Twilight. Because it's just like,
I don't know, man. They can play a mean game of baseball. That's the only thing I know about Twilight. Is they play
about the Twilight. Well, y'all should check out LA Bass. You're into vampires.
That's also true, but I can't knock it because I also like True Blood. And True Blood is also a good series. I had to go back and read the books. Like, I knew about the series before I knew about the books. So it's like, oh, if you love the series, go read the books. And I was like, oh. And when I read the books, I'm like, oh, I see why some people say what they say about certain seasons. But I'm not gonna knock you for it. Like I said, it's something I give my girlfriend grief about because she wants to watch Twilight. She's also a Harry Potter fan, so I told her this is a house of Gryffindor. There are no Slytherins or Hufflepuffs allowed.
What is she?
She says she's a Gryffindor, but for intents and purposes, and because I want her to remain happy, I'm gonna agree with that.
Okay.
Because I mean it's for me it's fun to share some things with that. But yeah, she considers herself a Gryffindor. I'm not going to argue with that. But that also being said, move right along. I did want to get to the other two shows very quickly. Book of Boba Fett. As Joe pointed out before we got live.
No, let's go what it is. This is episode 1 of Mandalorian season 3. That's what this episode was.
Which it really was. Ty, have you seen Book of Boba Fett? And if so, what did you think about it?
I've been in the first 2 to 3 episodes, I think. So we're still binge watching to catch up. But so far, the beginning has me just a little more slow. But I think it's different too because you had Baby Yoda and everyone was just fascinated by Baby Yoda. So I think it's a different aspect of getting into it and giving it time.
Oh yeah, the baby Yoda was kind of funny now that we have a name for him. But it's like, we're not gonna call you Grogu. You will still be Baby Yoda. You are still gonna be the kid that likes to sneak off and eat other people's food.
Exactly.
No, eats other people's kids.
That's other people's kids with no shame. Because he was snatching them eggs. Let's be honest, them eggs are appearing out of that robe just out of nowhere. Yeah,
they went extinct because of Baby Yoda.
Yeah. But as far as Book of Boba Fett, like Joe said, this was pretty much I know not to spoil for you, Ty, but this is kind of going into where the Mandalorian's going to start. I mean, I do like the fact that they did kind of show what happened after the Mandalorian and then kind of going into where he is now situation. As far as him still having the black saber, as far as I won't say he's excommunicated from the Mandalorians. It's more like the only way that you can be redeemed is that you have to go on a different path, which I think is going to set up for it. But Joe,
he's on his apology tour.
Yeah, he's on his apology tour. That's about the best way I can put that. Although, old boy that did challenge him, I'm going to be honest, and forgive me for this language, he was a dick.
Have you not seen that? Have you not seen Clone Wars and Rebels? All of House Vizsla is like that.
Sometimes it's reasons, though. I give it gray areas.
They were just the classic power-hungry clan in the 2 animated series.
It's just like USA. It's just like John Walker. Sometimes I can understand. Sometimes. I say sometimes I can understand, not all the time. But no, I mean, as far as that episode goes, I like the fact that they try to hold the whole thing about where he is and where he's going. And at the same time, he's going to go help Boba Fett, which kind of tells us where the Mandalorian season is going to pick up when that starts. But so far, there's been mixed reactions to Boba Fett. I know I liked it, Joe. I know you caught up with me. So what do you think so far before you?
This was probably one of the better episodes for the series. I mean, it's really hard to beat Danny Trejo coming in with the Rancor, but, I'll take it. Keeps being good. I talked to you about this before the thing. I find his new ship very impractical for his job, but if this is just like a team up scenario and maybe Boba feels like, oh, you helped out, you can have Slave One. And he'll be like, yeah, we're going to give that a new name.
I told you, I think he's going to go on, I know it's small and it's sleek and it's fast. And I love the whole tie-in with the previous pilot from the X-Wing that he ran into on the previous episodes. I still thought that was funny.
Oh, you mean Appa?
Yeah. It's kind of hard not to see him as Appa now, as far as now that he'll be what's the character he'll be showing in the new Airbender? I forgot the guy's name already.
Uncle Iroh?
Thank you. That's the good. I love the fact that was great casting, by the way. But again, I just thought Boba Fett so far has been great. But the last show that we have before we move on to other news, I gotta ask Ty, and I know I love it. I have been raving about it on my IG. Joe loves it. I have to ask you, what do you think about Peacemaker?
Okay. I was kind of scared at first because I did not like the last Suicide Squad.
Okay.
So
wait. You didn't. So wait. You didn't like the James Gunn one, right?
No. That was the last one, right? No.
Yeah, that was the more recent one.
I did not. I did a whole long Instagram post about it.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back and find that.
So I was
a primary issue with it.
What was my issue with it?
Yeah, what was like the big primary one?
it was just too much, and I don't like that director's comedy. I didn't even like his comedy, more so with the last Guardians of the Galaxy, the last Thor. So that type of comedy style is not just for me. And there was so much going on in that movie, like a lot. It's gigantism, just too much. The rats, the mother issues. I was just like, where are we going with this movie? So I was a little skeptical about Peacemaker. But overall, I have liked it. The comedy has been pretty good. Well, interesting. It's like stupid, funny type of comedy. That's been interesting. The fight scenes have been necessarily really great. The whole Amanda Waller, her daughter, the butterflies, just a nice setup, very interesting. And I've actually liked John Cena in this role. Normally I don't care for him as an actor, but so far I really have liked him. So far I'm loving it. We'll see on the next episode.
I truly agree with something that one of my friends in the wrestling community says. Like, if John Cena does not enter the Royal Rumble in the Peacemaker costume, we will all be mildly disappointed.
A little bit. Very much so. Also, Kelly says, I can agree about the comedy style. So there you go, Ty. You're not the only person. So there's also another person that does agree with you about James Gunn's comedy style, which I will go ahead and say, it is different. I mean, I loved him. I love James Gunn as a director. I love the Suicide Squad because it was like the first Suicide Squad to me was, just to be very quick, it was watchable. I mean, don't get me wrong. Will Smith is Deadshot. Love that. Marley Robot as Harley Quinn, which again I kind of have mixed issues about, but I still love for the role that she went into. Joel Kidman playing Rick Flag was also great. But also, seeing Idris Elba as Bloodsport, I was like, I can live with that too. Michael Rooker and then Sean Waltman, but both playing their roles and going out so soon was actually I did not see that coming. Of course, Sylvester Stallone was going the Vin Diesel route about playing King Shark, and I just thought to myself, okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know it's different taste and whatnot, but Peacemaker though, as me and Joe have both loved, because they, especially Eagly the Eagle, it's just
the whole real issue.
All that stuff.
Oh, go ahead.
I said the whole Eagle hug, just how they've animated him all together. That's hilarious.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Joe?
My only real issue is is still Adebayo revealing that she's Amanda Waller's daughter so soon in the series. I would have felt like that maybe like not penultimate episode, but out of 8 episodes, maybe do episode 6 to be the big reveal of that she's Amanda Waller's daughter, not episode 2.
It was pretty quick. I was kind of shocked by it, but yeah, that was definitely quick. Especially if she has a mission, you would think it'll come out later.
Right. But don't get me wrong, I like that too. I agree with Joe. I think that should have kind of been saved as a potential cliffhanger as far as where her allegiances lie. But aside from John Cena, again, he has shined on this series so far. And I do love the fact of Vigilante. Vigilante makes he makes the show for me, because I've never seen someone so hard want to be somebody's best friend to the point where it's like someone subliminally says, you know what, his father, Chris's father is going to be a problem if he's still breathing. Vigilante, I gotta go. It's like you just see him take off, and he's in prison, and me and Joe have talked about this in the previous podcast. Walks up to a table of white supremacists and just handles his own the whole entire time.
That really did surprise me. I was once like, okay, well, he's good with guns, but I guarantee you he's crap in a fight. Okay, no, he's fine all the way around. He's just a giant dork. All right.
Yeah, I definitely was underestimating his fighting skills, and then I was like, oh, so he really can do something.
Yeah, but I'm still wondering about the other side, about Myrn. That now, like I said, me and Joe, I was telling Joe this on a previous podcast. I'm like, if they say it's Killer Moth, if Myrn winds up being Killer Moth, I'm gonna be like, I'm not saying it's lazy writing, but I'm like, yeah, you could have went so many other directions. But now that we know that Adebayo has realized through Peacemaker's X-ray helmet that Mern is a butterfly. It's like it amps up the episode each week. So I've got no issues with it. I am looking forward to it. And then, but we also have to reiterate, folks, Peacemaker is not for children.
No.
Please don't look. I wish, just like Deadpool. Deadpool is not for kids. Deadpool has said in comics he is not for kids.
The only thing for Deadpool is Once Upon a Time in Deadpool, and that time he was taking care of Jeff for Gwenpool.
Right. That's it. That's it. As far as Peacemaker goes, it's not for kids. So please don't let your kids watch it. I can't tell me parents say, "Oh, my kid watches Peacemaker," and I'm like, okay.
I made the mistake of watching it at work. I got slow. I had already started on my lunch break, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna just finish it over here in the corner while I type my notes." And there was a closed door. I'm like sitting out in the open, watching it, typing my notes. Like, oh shoot.
I have to be the same way when I have kids around me. It's like I can't watch the same stuff that I usually watch when I'm by myself and then around children. So I get it. I understand it. So I truly get the fact that you kind of have to self-monitor yourself. Like I didn't want my kid coming back to me and saying, something that they heard on Peacemaker. And next thing you know, I'm sitting in a PTO meeting like, it was me. And it's like, you know what your kid did today? But, that's something different. But that being said, guys, we just got some quick news to go over. I'm going to go first. I am extremely happy from a first-person shooter game, one of my favorite shooter games of all time. Crysis 4 is going to be, has been announced by Crytek. If you don't know what Crysis is, there's actually a trilogy for it right now that has 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3 are my favorites. It is still, to me, arguably one of the best first-person shooter games out there. Actually, it was the reason. Crysis actually is the reason why you had to have a high gaming PC. For all those that don't remember, if you're around my age in the almost 40+ range, when Crysis first came out, your PC had to be high end. Like if you did not have a high enough video graphics card to play Crysis, your computer got disrespected. It was what do you say, Joe?
I was going to say, isn't that an actual website? Can it run Crysis.com or something?
Yes, it did. Okay. And it's still there. It's still there. Now that you mention it, it's still there. But I remember because I was one of the ones before I got into PC building, that was one of the benchmarks. I mean, the benchmarks now is, of course, Call of Duty, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, and Doom. Currently, those are 3 games where you can actually test your systems on. But Crysis used to be the big one, and I am so happy they're coming out with it. They don't have an announcement yet for it, but eventually, like I said, I'm one of those guys where certain games come out, I get excited. But let me ask you, because you're our guest, do you have an affinity for video games, or are there any favorites or any games that you're looking forward to?
So I lately, in the maybe last couple of years, I haven't been playing just because I don't have the time to play right now. My big thing was Dynasty Warriors, which they kind of ended, brought back, ended again. So that was my go-to game that I will sit there and play for hours.
Nice.
So was it just Dynasty Warriors or any of the Muso style games?
I really just like Dynasty Warriors.
No, I love that. Romance of the Three Kingdoms is fun.
Yeah, as soon as I came out, I had to have my parents take me to go get it. Dynasty Warriors just was my game. I didn't need anything else. That's all I wanted to play.
I just wanted to fight Lubu. That's all. That was the only thing. I just wanted to fight him just to get the red hair. I can care less about getting the character. I just wanted the freaking horse. That's all I wanted. But no, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I know. I like I said, I try to play video games, but in doing so, I have to sacrifice sleep. Sometimes it's a good idea. Sometimes I regret nothing. But no, it's one of those games. I know first-person shooters is definitely one of my favorites. Fighting games, things of that nature. Joe actually has some video games I know that he wants to talk about. But Joe, I think you wanted to talk about Pokemon, the latest Pokemon game, and that it has certain implementations.
Yeah. So this is a Pokemon game that is secretly a Monster Hunter game. You are literally sent out on missions in an open world where you actually have to dodge Pokemon attacks because it's not one of those stumble and then wipe out or cut and load into a fight. No, the Pokemon will just straight up attack you. You're the trainer. So you got to dodge. They literally give you a Dark Souls style dodge mechanic to get out of the way of Pokemon attacks.
Oh my goodness.
I would expect
The
the
game
Pokemon
actually has
to
a
take it
greater
no more.
emphasis on collecting. You do get you do have combat in there because this is set in like, it's a good way of putting this, the 1880s to early 1900s turn of the century Japan. The whole premise is Pokegod Arceus just plucks you out of the time stream and goes like, yeah, my kids are out after the street lamps are on, go collect them. Here's you're in Japan. You're in ancient Japan now. Have fun. You
So,
literally wake up on a beach in shorts and with your cell phone, and everyone's looking at you like,
I just want to interject this real quick. Why is it that Pokemon is like the next to Dragon Ball Z is the worst in child development? Your kid sits there and says, I want to be a Pokemon trainer. And you're like, okay, go enjoy the world, even though you don't have education or money or food and just the clothes on your back. But here's your Pikachu. I just not thought about that. Like every Pokemon.
I don't think there's no war or anything going on. All the parents are happy because the moment they're 10, they can push those kids right out the door.
I just not thought about that because I was like, now that I think about every Pokemon game, I'm just like, every Pokemon game, a 10-year-old, allegedly, a 10 or 11-year-old, is just thrown out in the world.
Okay, so to be fair in this one, they actually do tell you how old you are, and you're 15 in the game.
Oh,
okay, that's somewhat better. I mean, you can at least make decisions. Because I mean, if I come across a Charizard, it's like I'm gonna catch it. Let me throw a Pokeball at it. I'm like,
oh no, I've already come across that scenario. I ran into a level 40 Ponyta, which is like 3 times the height of my character. I just ran.
You just ran. So they're, like you said, they're able to attack you.
Yes, so
that's just there. You can throw a Pokeball and catch it.
Yeah, so if you get hit with 3 Pokemon attacks, you white out and return back to your base camp. Kind of like carding 3 times in Monster Hunter.
Okay.
There are Pokemon battles, but the battle system has been really overhauled, like to where we have RPG turntables, and certain moves can adjust that turntable of what Pokemon goes in what order. Pokemons can now actually master attacks to where you can get quick style and strong style, to where quick style will do less damage but will give you additional turns in the turn meter, whereas strong style will hit harder, let the opponent go more often, but you're able to inflict more status effects easily.
Just hit me. It's Dark Souls Pokemon.
No, it's Monster Hunter Pokemon. It is Monster Hunter Pokemon.
I mean, with the strong style, it's like when you hit them, you have to take a moment to recover, but they can still attack you. Well, technically, yeah, I guess I see your point. It could be more Monster Hunter than Dark Souls.
Like I said, you are still doing missions. You're taking requests from people, so you're doing a bunch of side quests. I just had to de-Bidoof a town because they were going and eating in all the lumber. So you also got to go. You also got to go find like ingredients. It's like, oh hey, here's a new recipe. So it's been a fun game. It's very sparsely populated for such a wide area because this is settled into multiple areas, which you'll get the central hub, and then as you progress, you'll be going to different areas of the game. They're somewhat sparsely populated, but I mean, this is their first try. They're not going to get everything totally optimized where every 10 feet is a Pokemon.
Right. I mean, it's not like WWE. It's not like WWE 2K.
Correct. Other than that,
like more options and stuff than what normally Pokemon offers.
You do. So much so the fact that you are technically no longer limited to 4 moves. The Pokemon will actually let you go into the move list and swap out moves once you've learned them.
Just on a random note, how come PETA's never complained about Pokemon?
Oh, PETA does nothing but complain about Pokemon.
I just wondered about that because it's
Google
like
PETA Pokemon.
Oh, so PETA did complain about Pokemon.
Oh, you have no idea.
Okay, because I was wondering that for a second. Like, I know
it has to be.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Ty?
I'm saying that I imagine it has to be just when you think of what Pokemon is to in that world.
I just want to see a free Cubone shirt. Cubone was my favorite. Cubone is my favorite Pokemon. I just want to see a free Cubone shirt with PETA somewhere on it, just to see. It's like you do realize these are imaginary monsters, right?
They still have rights.
Just to mess with you, Pokemon have.
Over on the streaming territory, we did finish with Mobile Suit Gundam Operation Code Fairy. Those nice, well-adjusted girls having to deal with war now. Oh, the war is over for at least 3 years before a new war starts because it's Universal Century.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I hope to God those poor girls don't get thrown in the Titans. I hope they go to AU and Zeta.
Nice.
I did try and start up Gundam Breaker 3 for the stream.
Oh,
because new Gundam Breaker, which is out in America, is hot trash.
Damn.
Unfortunately, Gundam Breaker 3 can't be remote played and can't be, and the visuals won't stream. Like PlayStation just brings up a blue screen that says this game cannot be streamed. You can have audio.
So damn. So they've already put the kibosh on it.
Yeah. So I had to go and buy Gundam Maxi Boost. So I'm rolling around in a little Little Zaku going up in a fighting game tournament arena against like Turn X, Turn A, Victory Gundam, and I'm just a little Zaku trying to do my best. I'm not even Char Zaku.
You are literally the little train that could in Gundam. You are basically you know what you are? You are basically, you remember Gurren Lagann?
Yeah.
You're the first form.
No, that's a ball. I'm at least the second form.
you are literally Lagann at this point.
I am the medium robot, not the little robots.
But I also some quick anime news because I also want to get Ty's opinion on other stuff as well. Death Note sequel is possible. There is going to possibly be a Death Note sequel. Ty, love, hate Death Note?
I do love Death Note, but again, like, can we end some stuff? Just create some new things.
Well, the weird part about it,
sequel to Death Note.
Yeah, the weird part about it is that there were really a bunch of short stories that came out that were posted, and now it seems like because of the response that they got back from it, they actually want to see if those short stories will become animes. I mean, there are a lot of animes that are going to be coming out this year, especially in October with Bleach's 1,000-Year Blood Arc, which again I'm looking forward to. The continuation of Jujutsu Kaisen, which again is also a good anime if you haven't seen that yet, and also My Hero Academia, which will actually be starting this October, which actually begins the War Arc. So. 3 of my favorite animes I'm looking forward to. Death Note, I was like, I watched it and I'm like, okay, it's not bad, but I mean, the whole idea
like top ones.
I mean, it's not really one of my top ones. I get the whole thing about Light. I said this whole thing from Jump Street that Light had the right idea until he got greedy. When he got greedy, that's what messed him up. Especially how he did old girl and got her Death Note book, by the way. That was real messed up. But again, for all those that don't know, you have to watch Death Note. You have to watch or read Death Note to find that out. But the fact of coming out with that's possibly getting a sequel. But One Punch Man, which is actually another one of my favorites, is still in limbo right now, just because the studio that did season 2 did not sign on to do season 3, and it's kind of in a limbo status right now because the season 2 wasn't accepted. I still thought season 2 was great, but it didn't get the same fanfare as it did with season 1. So right now, it's kind of up in the air. I would rather see Mappa take over because Mappa, the studio that's kind of behind a lot of my favorite animes, can actually do it justice. But right now it's in limbo.
Aren't they working on a new season of Mob though?
Yeah, for Mob Psycho 100.
The reason they're not doing season 3 is they're working on a new season of Mob, right?
No. That's not the reason.
Okay.
That's not the reason why One Punch Man is not coming out yet, because Mob Psycho 100 is still going to come out regardless, because that's Mappa's baby, and that's done gangbusters, so that's not going away anytime soon. But One Punch Man, depending on people how they feel about it, like I loved it just because it was so stupid, but at the same time it pulls you in. Sure. Like, Tyler, let me ask you this: have you seen One Punch Man? And if so, how do you feel about it?
I have seen One Punch Man. I was initially one of those people who did not like it, and I was like that for a couple years. So I actually probably sat down last year and really just sat there and just gave it a full try and began to really love it and fall into it, because I was initially like, this is pretty stupid, and then I was like, oh, okay, now I'm seeing why people are into into this, overlooking just kind of the comedy and the stupidity.
Yeah. And I think that to me, because I know Joe has told me his opinions on One Punch Man, but he says it's fine. I love it because it's one of those, at first, if you look at it, it's like, well, he's so overpowered, who could beat him? But the whole story is not about, who could beat him, but at the same time, it's really focusing on the other characters. Mm-hmm. Like, Moomin Rider will never get the respect he so richly deserves because he is getting his behind kicked. And every monster he's getting his behind kicked on. Also, One Punch Man, please watch the censored version for kids because Angel
hyperviolence is a thing.
Well, also Angel is fully on naked. I'm surprised they got away with it on Hulu and Funimation, honestly. So again, if you're gonna show One Punch Man to children, Hulu is probably the best one because they've kind of did some good editing. I'm just gonna put it that way. Because any man that fights naked is not a man that should be trusted. That's all I'm saying. If he's willing to fight you naked, that man has made a decision in life. That's all I'm saying.
But what if he's the only one to save you?
Again, I can't put my faith in a man who's gonna rescue me by fighting. The more his power is, the more naked he is, the stronger he is. And I'm like, I can't take that risk.
I'm sorry, save me. Take it off and save me.
Isn't that the whole plot of Kill la Kill?
Yes.
Okay.
The whole plot of Kill la Kill is the same thing, which I still find amazing, and I still will turn around and watch it. I can't say I will still watch Kill la Kill. But anyway, let me ask you really quickly before we get to Joe, because I know he's got some news and his comics to go through. So I have to ask you, so far with the current animes out there, with Demon Slayer, do you watch Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, and I know I'm missing one somewhere. Oh, let me ask you, aside from those two, what other animes are you currently keeping up with right now?
My Hero Academia, Fire Force.
Yes.
There is something Demon King. It came out earlier last year. That was pretty good. So waiting if they're going to do a season 2 for that one. I can't think of like the full title. It's like he's reincarnated, comes back as a child that grows up really quickly, goes to school. King? No, it's not Shaman King.
No, I know what she's talking about.
I just can't think of the full title of it. But
like the first episode, he like picks up the whole school and just tosses it just to show how powerful he is.
Yeah, okay, but they don't believe he's like the reincarnated Demon King, even though he's doing all this stuff.
I gotta go find this. Okay.
So that one was pretty good. There's another one that I was watching, but that was earlier this year. So I guess once it just kind of comes back up, I'll get back in. But Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, I've been reading a lot. Spy Family on the mangas is going out for anime. So I'm really looking forward to just kind of how they voice some of the characters, especially when the girl is thinking in her head.
So I have to ask you this with Demon Slayer so far. Are you at the Entertainment District arc right now, or where are you currently?
I am, and I also completed the manga. So
so you already know the story then.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you like the direction of it so far as the anime goes?
I do. I really like this one, and I like the fact that it's not going to be an overly long-winded anime. So
and
I like the fact that there is some type of closure.
Okay, so I have to ask you this. What's your favorite character on Demon Slayer? I ask everybody this because I'm just curious. It's kind of like a personality question.
There's so many. I'm about to mess up his name. What's the sleeping guy who fights and sleeps?
Zenitsu?
Yes, Zenitsu. That is probably my favorite. Even though I like his fighting style. I like the fact that he's absolutely sleep and kicking behind.
See, I'm more of an Inosuke fan because anybody that's that hype off of anything is immediately got my attention. It's like, you're stronger. I want to fight you. It's like,
I like the whole mask thing, and when he takes it off, like he's just this gorgeous guy. Yeah, but I do like his personality.
And again, going back to Entertainment Arc, I do like the fact of the sound Hashira and the fact that, it was such a shock, and I'm going to go over this really quickly. It was such a shock that, everybody's like, he has 3 wives. And of course, over in Japan, polygamy is not really, it's not illegal. It's like frowned upon, which I think is funny where it's like, oh, well, you see parents who find out about Demon Slayer for the first time. They're talking about polygamy. I said, no, he's got 3 wives, but I don't think all 3 wives are complaining, considering they're all shinobi, and that's a whole different story. But no, I do love where they're going with it so far as with one of the upper 6 demons, and literally the animation, the fighting style, which again I love so far because it looks beautiful. And I know you mentioned My Hero. I am looking forward to the war arc. I did enjoy My Villain Academia, but now it's like we need to get to the war arc because I want to see more of Deku's powers, because some of Deku's powers will become active, as well as M'Baku. Not M'Baku. M'Baku is a different character. What am I talking about? Bakio. There we go. I was mixing Black Panther with My Hero Academia. Yeah, thank you. I know his powers are going to be showing, and a list of other characters, especially in the war arc, because this is also a spoiler alert. The war arc is going to end very sadly, and
there's a lot of twists.
Yeah, be prepared to say goodbye to a few. That's all I'm going to leave it at that.
I love that part, especially when someone can just kill a character off, like.
That's what made The Walking Dead popular, except for Glenn. Somehow Glenn avoided everything, but no, I'm looking forward to it just because, it starts in October, and again, I am definitely ready to see that story start, because I know they're going to drag that out, but that's fine. But also, like I said before, if you don't want to wait for the anime series, the manga is complete. As I'm about to go, speaking of mangas and comics, I'm about to Joe's actually got some news on there, and actually Todd, Joe has something that I like to call top 5. Usually, because Joe, if you haven't noticed in his background, his comic book and figurine collection would dwarf most small stores at this moment. Like, he is solely responsible for basically clearing out collections in most comic book stores.
Oh, really?
I am surprised that at this point, and Joe can tell you, because I thought I had a comic book collection. Joe's got me beat by leagues, and even more so because he actually has more of a extensive knowledge of comic books than I do. I challenge him every week to come up with top 5. So therefore, I'm going to turn it over to him.
So anime, Joe, that Joe's been watching.
My bad. Go ahead. My bad.
So I have dropped Orient. Way too blasé of the shonen anime for me. Like, it's just literally, we're going to use the power of friendship and make our weapons bigger to fight bigger demons the whole time. Which we have 5 of those out already. 2 of which you've already just talked about. So yeah, drop that. I'm enjoying Bisco because it still has that big Trigun feel to me, which I love. It's very creative that it's a bow and arrow user that the bow and arrow casts mushroom.
Okay.
And he rides around on a giant crab.
Why does that sound like? Never mind. I was thinking about
something, dude. Like, I feel like this is probably just set on the opposite end of the world of Bastion Stampede. It has a very similar feel to it.
I can see that.
Digimon Ghost Game getting really good now. We're actually starting to get plot. We got the evil version of.
That threw me off. We're starting to get plot now.
No, it really was starting to be Monster of the Week, and now we're actually starting to get like real plot and storyline.
Gotcha. Okay.
We just got to see the evil version of the main character's Digimon pop up through Digivolution because they killed a main character.
Okay.
They had a whole episode where they actually had I think his name was Sealstramon, executing Digimon by tossing knives at him.
Nice. You execute.
No.
Out of all the power, out of all the powers they have, they just go to conventional means.
Well, he's a Navy SEAL Digimon.
Still, it's like,
dude, I don't know. I don't give him the powers. I just know that he was killing Digimon and counting up body counts in the triple digits.
I mean, this is just me because I'm so used to Digimon having abilities, projectiles, powers, and now you have
projectile is a Bowie knife that he says something in German before he tosses it out.
That sounds very John Wick to me. It's like I don't have powers. It's like I don't have powers. I have knives.
So he has killed one of the main supporting characters. Okay. So poor little white Triceratops Gamamon freaks out, becomes this black thing, and just murders the Seal Dramon to the point where like everyone's like, we kind of need to stop him, and he's like, how they get their super attacks in this one is they actually mentally project the attack name in the tamer.
So he goes Hunter. He goes full Dark Gone.
Oh, you wouldn't believe, like he like looks at the kids like, you need to tell me to do this. Because like, I'm not. It's like, all right, fine, I'm just gonna do it myself. Dead end skewer. His tail just goes and impales the Digimon's head and outright kills him.
Dang.
Then he turns onto them, and the other Digimon's like, yeah, we gotta stop him. And he's like, no.
So this went real dark. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, this went real dark. Like,
I definitely want to catch up on that. Like,
yeah,
because it's definitely Digimon now is definitely not the Digimon that was in the 90s.
No, this game has a really good horror vibe to it.
Yeah, so I definitely wanted to like binge watch, catch up on like all the movies, everything, because I was like, oh, this is not the Digimon that I know.
That went dark. I was like, when he stood there and said it decapitated somebody, I was like, what show is this? Because I need to make sure kids I know are not watching this.
So he almost, to pull Dragon Ball Z, he almost Kid Booed Vanishing Death Balls the entire cast.
Dang.
Like, it's just one of those, he can't actually hurt his own tamer, even though his tamer was going to be caught in the blast.
So you know what this means now? This is just like we talked about the Pokemon game beforehand. They're not taking Pokeballs anymore. They're not taking commands anymore. No. I feel like Execute Order 66 has been set off in the anime world. It's like creatures no longer have to be slaves.
No, that was like 2 weeks ago. This last week's episode, they had the Digimon turning people into stone statues and killing them.
Oh damn! See, yep. It's
usually I keep telling you need to watch Ghost Game. It's a Digimon horror anime.
I'll watch it because I was like, I'm gonna have to make sure I'm watching it by myself because I can't explain to an 8-year-old.
Horror, and then they reveal back. It's like, oh no, it's not that bad. But no, these last couple episodes, it's been straight up horror.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure I'm watching it by myself. But what else you got, Joe?
The Inuyasha sequel's still going okay. I'm still kind of weird on the whole who the mom is for the girls, and that doesn't sit right with me. But they are, it looks like the series it's going to be the kids going to the normal world soon. Like the current timeline, which is something I've always wanted to see.
I tried with the Inuyasha. That's like, it maybe I still need to just keep watching because I'm like, it's not like, which again, I have to stop myself because for a lot of things, I'm comparing one to the other. Like the sequels compared to the original, it's like, it's like we said about Star Wars. Star Wars fans of old are not going to be, accustomed to what the Star Wars shows are out there now.
Yes,
so I kind of have true, but it's the whole thing of kind of having to separate and actually watch it because it hasn't really stuck to me. Ty, have you tried watching it and see?
I did try and I gave up. It's one of those I kind of want to go back and try to sit there and just watch through, force myself to watch them and see if I can get into it. I think because my whole mindset was like, I am comparing it to the other one, but I think I'm comparing it to how I think those characters' parents, how they would be as parents. Like I thought they would be more responsible.
No, there's actually a reason why Kagome and Inuyasha are gone, and they do give it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I think. There's that disconnect, and I'm like, maybe I'm not watching long enough to get that.
Right. They I don't know. We can spoil some of this, right?
Yeah, go for it.
They actually do bring back Inuyasha and Kagome, and they are actually really good parents to their daughter.
Okay.
So Schumer is actually being a pretty chill dad in the grand scheme of things. Like I said, the only problem I still have with this whole series is who their mom is, but
I think it's Ren.
That's part of the issue. Like, I'm chill with her being their mom, but at the same time, I think it's still creepy as get out with. I mean, people are justifying it because he's a 1,000-year-old dog demon and whatnot. It's like, no, he's literally raised this girl to be his wife at this point.
Yes.
That's all sorts of creepy.
It is.
It definitely is that. But
So,
you know what? Now that you describe it, now I know. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to give it a shot, especially that Digimon one. I was like, because I was like, I'm gonna have to watch that one by myself. But
no, I don't think you have to watch it by yourself. It's not a bloodless. It's a bloodless anime. It's just the last 2 episodes have
we're
been
just dark.
really dark.
Okay.
And they are one of them is just because it's one of the sub characters actually dying, and it's the consequences of someone who's innocent not understanding the concept of death and not knowing how to grieve,
Gotcha.
becoming that mean version of the Digimon.
All right. Well, I know we're coming up on near the end. So, Joe, don't mean to stop you. I know you gotta get to your what?
I got one more anime news thing. Gundam has announced its first full Gundam show in about 7 years. This will be the first actual televised series. So we have not had a Gundam series since Iron Blooded Orphans. We will be getting in October, along with everything else. The Witch from Mercury looks to be another Universal Century series.
Nice. Okay, so Joe, you mean pull up your sides there for your side by sides?
Yipper.
All right.
I wonder how this is gonna. Okay, so that's how this is gonna look through this.
Yeah, we're all stacked up.
So first off, we got X-Men with Jerry Dugan and art by Pepe Larraza. This is a very, very straightforward issue. Cyclops has been capturing Krakoa for a bit, and we now see why. A new villain called Dr. Stasis pulls the X-Men to a fight in the streets of New York, and Cyclops dies in front of everybody as a result of it. Because the resurrection protocols are still a thing and no one knows about them, Cyclops cannot be in the public anymore. So this is the reason why he is now his hated persona, which he personally hates, is Captain Krakoa.
Still funny.
Yeah.
Still funny.
No, he hates being Captain Krakoa. He thinks it's the stupidest thing ever.
But it's still funny though. I mean, it's like Deadpool. Never mind. That's a whole nother story. Go ahead.
Moving on over, we got Devil's Reign 3 of 6 by Chip Zdarsky and Mark Cicchetto. Things are still going down. The Thunderbolts are still rounding up Superhumans. Captain America's, I guess we can say, new assembled version of the Secret Avengers is planning their move against Wilson Fisk, who is trying to get the Purple Man to influence all of New York to make people vote for him. Purple Man says, hey, I don't have that kind of power. You're going to need me and my kids. His kids are off in an alleyway going, it's like, there's Dad. We got to kill Dad.
That's just dark.
Yeah. Like his kids are actually super nice kids. They just happen to have his power set.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, Ben Reilly, who was taken into custody, is busted out by the Thing and the Human Torch, who literally just walk into the precinct, grab Ben, and just butt Kool-Aid Man through a wall. I mean, Ben just points out, are any of you really going to stop us?
I just want to see Ben. I just want to see a Thing just come to the door and be like, I want to see line infringement. It's like another line you want me to say right now, line infringement.
Meanwhile, the Secret Avengers do try and get to Wilson Fisk. They get into a fight with Dr. Octopus and his Superior 4, where Dr. Octopus immediately says, swerves everybody. It's like, no, I'm here to actually help. We don't need Fisk in charge. And then we learn that Iron Man is actually secretly the Chameleon.
Nice.
Yeah. Weird stuff going on. Weird stuff. And I grabbed the wrong page of Spider-Man. This is why I do this kind of stuff.
All right.
Amazing Spider-Man, number 87. This is beyond issue chapter number 13. This is a Peter storyline where Peter's trying to get back into the swing of things, pun intended, as both Captain America and Black Cat are training him. We do get to see the return of the amazing Bagman in this issue.
Okay.
Meanwhile, on a side story that actually does involve this, which has actually been the highlight, and this is my number one comic of the week, is the Mary Jane Black Cat Beyond side one-shot, written by Jed McKay, art by C.F. Vila.
I only say this because I've seen your Facebook post. That's the reason why I'm laughing.
This one shot has been gold. We've gotten wonderful lines, such as at the end of the issue, Peter the whole premise is Felicia already comes to see Peter. Mary Jane is being held at gunpoint by the character who is I'll be respectful to him, a B level villain named the Hood.
The funny part, you said respectful. That was nice.
I'm not going to be respectful. He's at least better than the Shocker, who even they joke about in this one.
Still, dang.
So they have to go take his hood. So they first hit up Count Nefaria. Then they stage a robbery to rob of all people Tombstone. And it goes successful, but just stuff happens. The Hood is dealt with. And there's this fun snark between these two women all the way through.
Of course,
most notably
Mary Jane. Of course, it's Black Cat Mary Jane. I expect
most notably that it took some doing of getting Mary Jane into the Black Cat costume because, according to police artist, she's got a dump truck butt.
I mean,
Peter wakes up to both of them in Black Cat costumes. And Mary Jane's like, I cannot believe he slept through this entire thing. And Black Cat reiterates what happened to this in the Spider-Man issue. And then Peter just looks at the two of them and is like, oh, it's this dream. Please be gentle. And just the look at the two of them, it's like, yeah, we're going to go to the roof now. And then it's just a nice little thing, confirmation between the two. They are friends, what their lots in Peter's life are. Because Felicia feels like she's the bad girl, and Mary Jane has to remind her, you do understand I have to live up to a dead girl's memory at all times. Because Gwen Stacy was the perfect girl. So it was just a nice little thing. I really, really enjoyed this. This was probably my favorite book of the week.
Okay.
Jumping on over to DC. Wonder Girl, which I am super ticked about. So pissed they canceled this book.
Uh-oh. Ty's smiling. Why is Ty? Ty, do you have something?
No,
you're smiling at this one.
Man, it's one of these ones I wanted to check out. It's on my list to read.
So, good news for you is this is the final issue. So, you only got to read 7 issues.
Okay.
I am still super pissed about that because they said this is getting canceled due to the pandemic.
Blame it on the pandemic.
No, the pandemic, art delays, because this book has been delayed quite a bit. Where they had to bring on a new artist because this was originally a artist-writer book with Joella Jones, but she was taking so long because her art was so good. The book was actually delayed by several months. So this is done by Joella Jones, art is by Lelu Del Luca. This ends the story of Yara Flor's origin story. She breaks out of Olympus, fights several gods. Zeus has to intervene at some point, and Cassie Sandmark, in my favorite panel of this, goes like, so Pop, it's your favorite granddaughter. I need you to stop. And then it cuts to Zeus, surrounded by all his other granddaughters. Like, favorite is a very strong word.
Damn. Favorite is a strong word.
He's just surrounded by all his technical granddaughters, as Cassie's addressing him as, your favorite granddaughter.
Dang.
Eros is killed and releases Yara, and Yara's just like, oh, I've been under a spell this entire time. Screw you. I hope you have a fun time in Tartarus.
Damn.
Yeah. So the actual Brazilian Amazons break into Olympus, and a small fight breaks out. Eventually, it stops, and then we move on to what was going to be issue 8, but is now Trial of the Amazons issue 1.
Okay.
They even had issue 8 done, and then they just said, we're not putting it out. It really makes me mad because this was such a good book. The paper shortage, the fact that they want to put out more Batman books.
Well,
and they keep putting out Batman books.
That makes sense. I know. I get. I get what you're saying. It's just, As I said before, I think it's going to be one of those series that they may come back to, but DC
I
is
hope
not
that
really
this
good.
gets a reboot because we do have the death of the Justice League, so maybe
Yeah,
Yar can step in there along with everybody else, or after Trial of the Amazons, they'll just release a book called Wonder Girls with Cassie, Donna, and Yara. I'd be down for that.
still, that the Justice League was somehow a good idea. Anyway, let me not stop. Let me
Nope,
let me.
you're
I'm
fine.
sorry.
You're fine.
I'm gonna.
Final
I'm gonna
book of
shut up.
the week is The Human Target, Book 4, with Tom King and art by Greg Smallwood. As art, the cover is also by Greg Smallwood. This is also a really fun issue for me because this is just Christopher Chance and Ice having just a long chat and some small adventures with Ted Cord,
Nice.
which eventually just ends up in the bar with Ted Cord getting hammered and talking about why he's always having to loan Booster money, despite the fact that Booster's from the future and she'd know how the money market goes and she'd be a billionaire.
Mm.
maybe
It's
better
also just this is also just kind of a wholesome book because out of the JLI, Ted and Ice were probably the most straightforward hero characters. Where when they team up, it's just a wholesome little I guess 60s style adventure would be the best way of putting it. Like they're
Okay.
not doing like demon things or like they foil bank robbery and like they make ice puns and melting puns the whole way through. They have Batman 60s sound effects as illustrated here on the comic.
Right. I was about to point. I was going to point that out. Like, so somebody was an Adam West fan.
Oh yeah, no. Every time Blue Beetle fights, it's all the Adam West sound effects, which is just fun.
Nice.
Then you see that Ice decides to spend the night with Chance. And that's where the book ends.
Gotcha. All right.
Good books. Still my favorite is the Black Cat Mary Jane thing because that just had some of the most quotable stuff. I really, really enjoyed that book. It's a one shot. I hope they make more of it because Jed McKay really knows his Black Cat. He just came off a Black Cat run.
Gotcha.
Where she stole the Infinity Gauntlet out from under Nick Fury.
Nice. That's interesting. Well, also, thank you for that, Joe. So also shout out to Rick's Comic City as well. Joe's wonderful place to basically drain them of all comic books and comic book runs and compilations and volumes. Also voted Nashville's #1 comic book store. So if you ever get a chance, check them out. The 3 locations in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Clarksville, Tennessee, Donaldson. I think I missed one. I'm pretty sure. No,
that's all 3.
That's all 3. Wow, I can't count today. But definitely check them out. Like I said before, support your local comic books because, like I say about comic books, there's great things as far as digital and comicsology, and that's all well and good. But there's just something about having an actual comic in your hands. And trust me, if you haven't seen the comic book industry lately, a lot of these older comics are worth a lot. Do not believe me? Look up Superman #3 right now and see how much it went at auction. That's
how much a single page of Spider-Man went for.
Exactly. A single page. A single graded page of Spider. What did it go for, like 4 million?
I don't know why, but sure.
I think it went for 4 million. I want to say
are you reading anything lately?
Just the Naomi I finished. I'm just doing the Nubia and the Amazons.
That has been such a good book.
Yeah, I started that one today. So reading that, I'm trying to hold off on buying because my bookshelf is completely full.
I understand this thing.
I have no place to put things, so I have to figure something out.
Really, Joe? You understand the pain as you literally have, as I can count back there, 3 bookshelves?
Oh, no.
In 3
the bottom
bookshelves
part of that bookshelf is comics. Everything else is stuff. I keep telling you, the comic bookshelves are over on that side of the room.
I know. Technically, those are the 3 bookshelves on your. Well, I'm sorry, the 3 bookshelves that have the comics on the left, right?
No, this is the DVD shelf. That back shelf is games, figures, and the bottom shelf is all the X-Men books. The comic book shelves are over on this side.
Huh?
What?
See what I mean by collection time? He would have me beat.
I can't really say anything.
There we go.
I'm just not showing my stuff. I can't say much.
See, that's just the Marvel one, and the one in shadow over on the other side is the DC side.
Yeah. So he's kind of got me beat. But definitely do check out comic book stores. Also, guys, if you aren't able to actually hit a comic book store, hit up a library, because libraries do carry the most updated comics, anime, manga, and actually, and contrary to popular belief, library cards are still $1. In 2022, library cards are still $1. So you can actually go to your local library and still catch up on literature, because trust me, reading is fundamental, and I highly recommend it. There's nothing wrong with anime. There's nothing wrong with anime, but manga, it's just, like I said, it's an imagination. You get more story, and at the same time, there's a lot of it, just like One Piece. I think they're up to 1,008 now. Figure that one out. But I'm still going to catch up with One Piece. That is my dream. My dream is to catch up with One Piece. I know I don't ask for much in life, but I will catch up with Luffy.
I'm caught up with Luffy.
So you caught up to 1,008?
Yeah. I just have to wait week for it to come out.
Oh, you lucky duck. I'm still somewhere in the 9s, but I'm getting there. But that being said, guys, as we're kind of wrapping it up, I do first and foremost want to thank Ty for being on here. I know, like I said before, shameless promotions as I usually do here. Ty, I do want to go ahead and I do know that you do have your IG right there. Curly and Nerdy is where they can find you. Is there anything that you will let everybody know as far as stuff that you're promoting, what you're doing, and things of that nature you want people to know about?
Well, for Black History Month, I'm getting ready to do the 28 days of just different Black characters. Normally, they're just different comic book characters, some old, some new. Lately, I feel like a lot of Black comic book characters have been released, and you just really haven't seen them, because the Gardener, what's the lady from Green Lantern who was released?
Soldier Mullen, she's currently the main character in the Green Lantern book. Yeah,
so a lot of new characters that are coming out. So I normally do just a little bio character background on them. Also I'm going to try to change it up this year, do more Black History facts with it, and then more Black History t-shirts and comic book t-shirts coming out, hopefully by next week.
T-shirts, you say? I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
When are you going to cosplay Soldier Mullins? Gotta know.
I don't know. So I used to do some cosplay in the back. I'm trying to get back into it. I really wanted to do Rocket, the Gardener, and what's the girl from Kibo? I can't think of her name.
I know what you're talking about. No,
you need hair and the monster.
Yeah.
You need to do Soldier.
I just seen someone cosplay it, and I was like, oh, I'm in love. But that's going to take some work, because that costume is in depth. So make sure it's right. But yeah, I do want to get back into a little more cosplay this year.
Yeah, I do love the fact, like I say, I do follow your IG page, and I do love the fact you do the 28 days and just showing different characters, some known, some really unknown, and then it's I love the fact of letting that be known, just because there's so many. So there are really a lot of characters out there, and I love the fact that you spend the entire month of Black History Month doing that, which I thought was pretty cool. And I can see the soldier cosplay as well. I can't say anything. I've been told to do Thanos, Kingpin, and Cole from Gears of War. So
I'm telling you, just be Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific.
I would be a beef. Look, do you see the build on Mr. Terrific? Then look at me.
Yeah, it just depends on the artist.
Well, the artist, they always said, you know what? This is not the debate we're going to get into right now, because they've already drawn Mr. Terrific small. But I've never seen a Mr. Terrific my size, even in Justice League Unlimited. But I'll tell you what, you show me a picture of a buffed up Mr. Terrific, I will not argue with you. That doesn't mean you got to do it now. That doesn't mean you got to do it now, Joe. But because I know he's going to do it. But while he's trying to avoid trying to find a Mr. Terrific picture, Joe, what's going to be your streaming schedule for this week?
Well, obviously we're going to be playing Gundam still, because Mobile Suit Mondays. I mean, I could change my mind and make it Mech Warrior. I just got through with a campaign to where I have suffered so much and lost so much money, then gained a whole lot of money, then lost even more money repairing mechs.
Well, you playing Mech Warriors, you went to Vegas.
It's about the same thing. You get a lot of money for your missions, and then all your winnings go to repairing your mechs. So I'll make $10 million, and then $9 million of that dollars goes into the mech repair bill.
You're right. That is Vegas. You're right. That is Vegas.
It's okay. I keep getting bigger and bigger mechs. I got my Battle Master back, which will annoy one of my friends, because that's all I played in the tabletop. To the point where he banned me from playing Battle Masters.
So you got blacklisted?
Yeah, I had to start using the Centurion until he got annoyed with that. That's what it was. The Milestone Omnibus is coming out, isn't it?
The for Mech Warriors?
No, DC's Milestone Omnibus.
I want to say I was a month off, but I'd be wrong. I'm not really sure.
Milestone Compendium Volume 1 releases the first day of February.
Okay, so next month. Gotcha. Okay, so aside from Gundam, where else? So what else you got?
Shield Mom and Pals in Space, and I don't know. Maybe I'll hop back into that retro game I was playing, Primal.
Well, you could try Cyberpunk 2077, the most broken game ever.
I have a PlayStation 4. That would just be Cyberpunk something.
I mean, trust me, it's on pause right now because I was playing before we started this podcast. And I was like, I'm a completionist person. It's like whatever game I purchased, despite if it's broken, if it's bad, I have to try beating it. And so far, it's like it's a love-hate relationship. But I look on the bright side. God of War will be coming out very soon. Horizon Forbidden West will be coming out very soon, and Destiny's next expansion pack will be coming out very soon. So, Ty, you talked about not having to play all the time. I figured out the solution: no sleep.
No sleep.
I can't do that. You'll be able to pull this off.
I'm not a good person without sleep. I need
sleep.
I can say that, but I regret nothing. But I'm sorry, Joe. Say what?
I'm waiting for King of Fighters.
Yes, I need to actually get that in the expansion. Also, to get Guilty Gear Strive. But not to cut you off, Joe. What are aside from Shield Mom and Pals, and what else are you gonna be covering this week?
I think I'm just in a holding position until February comes out because I got to get a lot of these games for the PlayStation 4. So, Shield Mom and Pals may take a backseat to Dino Sister and Friends.
You have to explain Dino Sister and Friends.
I think you just said it. Horizon Zero Dawn.
You call it Dino Sister? I called it, the world, I was gonna say Crocodile Hunter, but it didn't sound right. This is just see Ayla go up to a cyber beast.
I can't say Dino Riders. That's already taken by Mattel Hasbro.
Well, I guess it is right.
Dino Sister and Pals it is.
I could come up with. You know what? Give me a week. But I'm sorry. What else you got?
Most definitely KOF when it comes out. I really don't feel like reloading Strive, so I'm not getting Biken. Biken or Boopkin, whichever one we want to call her at this point.
There's no way to mispronounce that name. However, the artwork is. I
wonder if she's in a race to see if she can beat up my Shiranui or not.
I'm more on the artwork. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna just sit there and say the artwork is very very definitive.
Yeah, that's why she's being called Boopkin right now.
Yeah, very definitive. That just goes to the world.
Why, but okay.
I'm just gonna leave it alone because I was like, it comes to anime, there's just certain things that are accentuated. We call them fan service. Leave it at that. But Joe, where's
the Power Girl thing?
Power Girl's always been that running joke. But Joe, where is the Twitch channel so they can catch you on and all your other social
Joe Italian last name. And my very rarely used Instagrams are National Green Lantern and National Scarlet Spider. That's how little used they are right now. I don't remember.
Understandable. Okay. Well, also before we wrap this up, I do want to do some shameless plugging to other people as well. First and foremost, to my buddy Big BZA who will be returning back to podcasting very soon. You can find him at Devon Westman on Facebook, Big BZA on socials. We're usually at Smoking Trailer Sundays every Sunday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Of course, the REF podcast, which is only for the grown and intended, every Tuesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Definitely check him out, Devon Westman on Facebook and Big BZA on all socials. Also, shout out to Ari and Geek Present Geek Salad for allowing us to share our podcast on their page. This is actually their YouTube page, Ari and Geek Present Geek Salad. They are simply like us, a couple of brothers that do want to talk about everything pop culture and everything outside of it from a unique, unfiltered, but also intelligent perspective. I always want to give them love, and hopefully they'll have them on the show very soon again, because me and Ari will forever have the debate that is Zack Snyder being the best director ever. Trust me, that's going to be fun once I get them on here. But definitely check them out on Facebook as well as YouTube. Ari and Geek Present Geek Salad, as you see right there. Before I do get out of here, guys, of course, my IG is BlackFox447. I do post movie reviews, video game reviews. I like to post different people like Curly and Nerdy because of their unique perspective on things and things that they bring to the culture. I also post gym stuff because like me and Joe, we do a couple push-ups. But beyond that, we do like to be encouraging and helpful. And sometimes I usually watch Joe's Facebook because Joe has like stories about his job that just makes me chuckle. That just makes me feel like the world ain't gonna be that bad.
That's why I haven't been fired yet for saying some of these things is astounding. Or just shows how badly they need healthcare people.
Yeah, because Joe has said some things that I wish I bring up.
Let's preface this for people that don't know. Please understand I am not saying anything vulgar or rude to anybody.
It's British humor. It's really British humor in a way.
Oh yeah.
That's about the best way I can put it. It's like British humor. It's like if Joe was in the office, he'd basically be Stanley.
No, I'd just be in the IT crowd because I wouldn't waste my time at the office.
Fair enough. I can see that.
I'd be the other guy moving the fire.
Just wow.
I don't even go to the gym anymore. I had to resort to getting Ring Fit recently.
Hey, Ring Fit is worth it. Ring Fit will still give you a good workout. I'm just going to be honest.
My back just pops the entire way up from a simple twist.
Especially with the Ring Fit where you're doing the holding the raise above your head or you're trying to pull apart. It's like it is. Like,
that is surprisingly sturdy.
Yeah, I did over a friend's house that Ring Fit, and it is not for the faint of heart. I was like, oh, let me just sit here and hold it. It's like a deltoid pull. It's like you're pulling back, and I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. And then it's like, okay.
So I actually tried doing the rhythm game. I actually cannot move back and forth quick enough for the game to even start.
Damn. That's saying a lot, Joe.
I also have to turn the game on to silent running because I'm upstairs, so there's that. So I'm like jogging in place, like really as much as I can. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is funny. But again, like I said, as we're wrapping this up, Ty, first and foremost, really thank you for being our first guest on Git Bit.
Thank y'all for having me.
I'm sorry?
I said, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. And like, if you ever do want to come back on here, you have an open invitation. You definitely have an open invitation to come back on here because, like I said, you are like-minded as well. I see you and Joe are going to have an affinity for comic books, and I'm going to feel very sad because my collection, which I am not going to show on camera, is shameful compared to y'all. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But like I said, thank you for being on here and really appreciate it. And as we wrap up, guys, like I said before, really important, really and truly, guys, for the simple fact of the matter is, as I said from Joe, who is in healthcare, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Wear a mask. Be protective. It's too much stuff going on right now. The Decepticon is out there. I can't call it Omicron. To me, it's the Decepticon because it is a Decepticon. Even though I know Joe's going to say it, but I still say he's a Decepticon.
They did nothing wrong. They just fought for freedom.
I knew he was going to say that. But again, guys, like I said, as we wrap this up, just again, protect yourselves out there. Take care of each other. Be nice. There is nothing. I say this all the time. It takes zero energy to be nice. It takes everything in you to be a dick. We are not gatekeepers. We are not experts. We are not, we might be critiquing some things, but we're not getting paid to do this. This is all for fun. And this is all open discussion, as you've seen 3 people have. And all we're just doing is just talking about our fandoms and having fun. And that is the entire point of this podcast. So with that being said, any last words from anybody that wants to say something?
No.
Joe's looking to the left or right, like, I feel like he wants to say something. I'm just waiting for it.
Please go buy this so I can get more Kamen Rider.
He loves, you know what? You'll have to explain Kamen Rider later. But anyway, thank you again, Ty, for being on here. He's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Git Bit Podcast, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you're following us on the Watch This on the Playback, please comment live. Comment if it's live on everything that we discussed. I still want to know you guys' opinions on everything that we've done so far. Aside from that, guys, have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will all get through this. Peace.